I made over $115 million without a handout, without investors, and starting from my parents' spare bedroom. I had no followers, no fame, no capital, just this one model. And I'll walk you through it so you can make your first 10K with it. So I first say you start with what not to do. So what I tried to start my online business, the first thing I chose was a fitness company, an online fitness company. And there's nothing wrong with the fitness company. I just had the wrong model. So what I did is I built out a whole program. I built out the funnels, I built out the PDFs, made the entire thing, which took a lot of time and effort. It took me a year. And then when I went to sell it, I sold it for $47. And because I didn't have a large social media following and I didn't have a lot of money to run ads, it failed, right? And I just thought the way you got famous or the way you got rich at that time was you post on social media, people will buy your stuff. That is just not how it works, right? So I wasted a ton of time building out this whole product for a year only to go and sell it and get crickets. And this is a huge mistake you'll see on Shark Tank all the time, where you'll see individuals go on that show. They say, hey, I took out a mortgage, I took out a loan, I took out something on my house. I'm in a super bad spot. And this is my last attempt. I hope you guys can bail me out. I hope you guys can help me. But they're in a really, really bad spot because they never sold it before they built it. They built it and then they tried to sell it, but they waste all this time, effort, and energy when you can just sell it first. We'll get into that in just a second. So what I did is, after failing for 2 years, I literally made $2,000 in 2 years, right? Like, it was embarrassing. Like, more people have had success in the first 2 years of business than me. Lots of people. I switched to a high ticket model. So I took that low ticket model and I switched it to a high ticket model, right? So I started selling my fitness programs for $1,500 plus over the phone. So what I did, and I'll walk you guys through it, is I just started reaching out to my followers, okay? Like, I never messaged my followers before. So I started reaching out to my followers and said, hey, thanks for following me. What's your fitness goal? And from there, it would be pretty simple. It's like, oh, here's my goal. And I'm like, what are you struggling with? What have you tried? Have you ever, had a coach before? I'm like, no. Like, well, I don't know if you care or not. I do this fitness stuff all day long. Like, if you're down for some help, I can get on a call. Sure. Then I would book a call, fill out an application, and then I would take the sales call. And in the first week, I made $10,000 doing this, when in the first 2 years, I made $2,000. It completely blew my mind. Like, I didn't think there were people who would pay that much. Now, are there a lot of people who would pay that much? Absolutely not, but you only need 3%, right? So if I get 3 out of 100 leads to buy a $1,500 product, like, my life's completely changed. And at the time, I was making $3,000 a month. So $10,000 in a week was 3 months worth of income for me. So I knew, I was like, there's no way I'm not gonna pull this off, okay? So after that, I went on and I did over $1 million in a year. And the way I did $1 million is, once I had that system down, all I did was rinse and repeat. And as I got more cash, I was able to hire staff. So I could hire people to do the messaging for me. I could hire staff to do the sales calls for me. I could hire staff to do the coaching for me. And then I just put my money into Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and it went even faster. And by the end of the year, in 12 months, I'd done over $1 million in my online fitness business, right? And it absolutely blew my mind. Then, because I had so much success, I got an award from ClickFunnels. Okay, you guys can probably see those on the walls or in these videos. I got an award from ClickFunnels for doing $1 million in a year. $1 million total. It's not really in a year, but that's how long it took me to do it. And because I got that, I had a bunch of trainers from all over the country in the United States of America just say, hey, like, how are you doing this? And I said, well, I don't really coach on this. Like, I don't do this stuff. I just do fitness. Like, dude, I'll pay you 10 grand. I had 15 people plus willing to pay me $10,000. And at the time I was 26 years old. So I said, all right, like, sure, I'll do it. So I started coaching personal trainers on the same way I built my fitness company, right? And that thing absolutely blew up. I think I did 300 grand in the first 30 days. And that thing took off. And because it took off so much, I didn't plan it at the time, but I shifted from fitness to business consulting. Now, I know some people will say, oh, that's not one digital product. It's the same product, guys. Like, basically exactly what I was doing in the fitness company, all I did now is I was shifting what I was teaching. It's still a similar product, and I still consider it the same product. That did so well that I did $10 million that year, okay? And when people are asking, like, I can go into depth about how to hire, how to train, how to run ads, but in short, like, once you get something that's working, you just put more gas on the fire. Like, if I spend $1,000 to make 10,000, I spend 10,000 to make 100,000, okay? And then I had to hire a team and staff to come in and do some of the manual labor on the day-to-day. That did so well, I got more awards from ClickFunnels, and more people started to find out about me, and then I went to full-on business consulting. So instead of just only helping fitness trainers, I started helping all kinds of other businesses. And that next year, I did over $25 million. And then I went on to do over $100 million in sales in 6 years. So I did 1 million, 10 million, 15 million, and then 25 3 years in a row. If you add that up all together, that's 101 million in just 6 years. And now it's obviously more. I don't like total up all the time. I just kind of keep that number consistent. But that's how I got to that level. Now that you understand my story, how can you actually get there? Okay, so first and foremost, what we have to do is we have to find an offer, okay? So what I would recommend you do is one of two things. Is if you are the type of individual and you say, look, dude, I have no idea how to start. Like, I'm completely lost on how to start. What you could do is go to one of two sites. So you could go to Udemy.com. I've used, and this is actually how I learned Facebook ads. You guys are gonna laugh, but I actually learned Facebook ads here. I'll see if I can actually find the course. When you type this in, all kinds of courses will pop up, and they're usually for $100 or less, and you can learn how to do Facebook ads. So the course I had was super old, but look at this. This is 4.5, 48,000 ratings, 22 bucks. 4.4, 34,000 ratings. 4.6, 1,500 ratings. Like, there's a million on here that will just show you the basics basics of how to do something. So either a skill you're trying to learn or a skill you want to sell, if you don't know it, you can come on here and learn. There's actually another site that's free, okay? I've just never used it, so that's why I usually recommend Udemy, because I've used it. I'm not affiliated, by the way, just these are the ones I use. You can come here and do the same thing, and these courses are usually free, okay? And so if you're saying, hey, like, I don't know how to do something, I can't learn it, I'm broke, like, there's literally no excuse, because you come on here, it's, you know, 51,000 people have used this one, 18,000 have used that one, 25,000 have used this one, and you can learn that actual skill. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you go and build a skill in the health, wealth, or relationship niche. Wealth is always gonna pay the most because people, if they make more money, they can pay you more. But there's also health, like fitness, that's where I start, or you can do relationships. So it could be dating, it could be marriage, it could be, you know, how to not get divorced, like whatever, okay? So those are the offers. Now, once you have that offer down, okay, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to put it in Alex Hormozi's $100 million offer formula, okay? And so if you're unfamiliar with Alex Hormozi and you lived under a rock, welcome. He's kind of the shit of the moment. And if you go to his book, what he has is determined outcome, okay? Perceived likelihood of achievement. I'm gonna walk you guys through this, so just bear with me. Then underneath it, right, you do a divide sign because anything divided by 0 is 0, right? So this is the most important part. And then you do time, we'll just put this a little bit over here, and then you do effort, okay? So most offers are only gonna have 2 out of 4, right? So I'm gonna take my first offer, it was a fitness offer. So determined outcome, lose weight, yes, people want that. Perceived likelihood of achievement, pretty low. Does it take a lot of time? Yes, and the effort's high. So it's actually 1 out of 4, right? So it, like, you can sell an offer like that because there's definitely a marketplace for it, but it's gonna be a lot harder, okay? If I take, one of my clients has an offer, it's how to get into Ivy League schools, okay? So determined outcome, super high, people want to get into Ivy League schools. Perceived likelihood of achievement, she makes it really easy, like she has a formula. The time, it's gonna take a lot of time, and it's gonna take a lot of effort, but that's 2 out of 4, okay? So most offers will have 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4. If it's low, it doesn't mean you can't sell, it just means you have to be better at sales and marketing, okay? So I was always really good at sales and marketing. I learned that over time, I put a lot of effort for it, so that paid off. If you're not good at those things, then your offer needs to be better. So one of my clients has how to get a green card offer, okay? EBT 1A, I believe it is. He's not that good at sales and marketing, but he's really good at his offer, right? And so because his offer is really good, it's like determined outcome is really good. Perceived likelihood of achievement is very high. It does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of effort, right? But it's a good offer in the sense that, yes, it has 2 out of 4. There's offers that have more, right? I'll give you an example in a second, but it's just more valuable, meaning like more people want a green card than to get in shape. Does that make sense? Another one is day trading. So it's an app that does day trading for you and can make you money. So determined outcome, make money without doing anything. Perceived likelihood of achievement, pretty high. It's a 2-to-1 odds ratio. The time is pretty instant and takes no effort. So that's like 4 out of 4. Those offers can crush, okay? So if you're not sure what to do, usually I would say just start in business with something you know. So for me, I knew fitness. I started in fitness and then I was able to learn business that way and then I could branch off. If you don't know anything, which I highly doubt, I'm sure you know something, but you can go to udemy.com or alison.com like I showed you on the screen. Pick something from there, take a course, like you can absolutely learn it, okay? There's absolutely no reason you cannot do that. That's a very easy way to start a business and then you run it through Alex Hormozi's model and try to get 4 out of 4, but if you can't, even if you get 1 out of 4, if it's in the health, wealth, or relationship niche, you can start there. Your first offer does not have to be a slam dunk. It's just understanding what makes a good offer. If you go back to what we had on the diagram, what makes a good offer is if you get 4 out of 4. The closer to 4 you are, the better it is. So most people just look at determined outcome and that's it. It's like lose weight, make money, have a better relationship. That's important. But then the other one is time, effort, and perceived likelihood of achievement. And the better those are, the easier it is to sell, right? The easier it is to convince someone that, hey, like I should probably work with you, okay? Now, once you have that down, the key thing is then sell it before you build it. Do not build it first, okay? It's a huge mistake. So think of it this way. Let's say you're selling fitness coaching. It's just information, right? It's just information. So you start outreaching, let's say to your followers, you could start there and you get someone on and you sell them. Then you could just say, hey, so give me 72 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and make up your plan and I'll get it over to you. You can literally go and make it up at that time. You can make it up on an Excel spreadsheet to start. I know that's not the classiest, but that's how I started. You can use Trainerize, you can use PD Distinction, you can use My Coach AI. You can build it out that way. And then once you build it out and you give it to your client, and you say, hey, this is a new test app I'm doing, or hey, I'm actually building out an app. So like, let's say you want to use Trainerize or PD Distinction or My Coach AI, whatever, and you can build it out or tell them like, hey, I'm gonna give this to you in the meantime and build that out, and you'll be totally fine. Like, what's gonna kill your business is not making sales. Giving a bad service or like a C+ service to start is pretty normal, and you're gonna learn what to do better. A lot of people take, months and months to build out this amazing service. They can't sell shit. If you can't sell, you're not in business. So sell it, right, first, and then you can build it, which was a huge mistake I made. In the beginning of business, I built it, and then I tried to sell it, and then when I went to sell it, I couldn't even get anyone to buy it. It was a huge mistake. Okay, so do that first. Then you wanna start with what I call organic, okay? So the goal should be 100 DMs a day, okay? So you wanna start first with your followers. Once you're out of followers, you can do cold outreach, but cold outreach won't be as effective. So let's say you're reaching out to followers. You do 100 messages a day, about 20 an hour is the max you can send without getting a spam block. It depends on accounts, but I would do about 20 an hour max. So you do 20 per hour, 5 hours a day, 100 100 total. If they're following you, you'll get 100 messages, 30% of those people reply. That's the goal. And then out of those 3, you book 6 calls, and then maybe you close 1. That's kind of the ratio you look for. If less than 30 people respond, your first message is weird. If less than 6 people book a call, your follow-up messages are weird, like the whole conversation. If you close less than 1 deal, you're probably not good at sales, okay? So on and so forth. Hopefully that's making sense. If you're doing cold outreach, the difference will be 100 DMs, maybe 10 or 15% of people respond, 1 or 2 calls, and then it might take you multiple calls to actually close someone, right? So in a perfect world, if you book 1 or 2 calls, you close 1 person, but it might take you 10 calls. So that lets you know how much reps you're gonna have to do. Once you get that down and you actually have cash and you've proven that you have those skills, because a lot of people don't have skills. It's either a strategy issue or a skill issue. This strategy works. It's made me hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, it absolutely works, but a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't work, but they suck at messaging, or it doesn't work and they suck at sales, or it doesn't work and they suck at their offer. Like, they didn't make a good offer. You have to have those skills in place. Once those skills are in place and you make a couple sales, then we want to move into ads. Okay, so it's $1 in and we're looking for 4 or more dollars out. Now, even if you spend $1 and make 2, you'll be wealthy, but we're usually looking for 1 and then you spend 4. So if you're spending $1 on ads and you can get 4 more out, it's really easy. So I spent about $30 million over 6 years on ads and I made 115 million, right? So it was a little bit lower than 4, but it was close. And at scale, that can make you really wealthy, because every time you spend money, hey, I spend $1, I make a couple more out. I spend $1, I make some more out. And so once we get into paid ads and you can start paying for it and you don't have to rely on your social media following or how you reach or anything like that, now you can be wealthy on demand. This is the easiest way to gain wealth without being famous or popular or having huge social media. This is the absolute best way. It's just learning the skills on how to do it. And then finally, when I actually did start running ads, it was really simple. So I use Elite360.io. That's the software I use to run my funnels and my emails and my text software. And then I just use a cell phone. And so I'd run ads to the DM, then the link would fire. That individual could click on the link and watch a VSL and then book a call, right? Or after that, I would go in and DM them, or someone on my team, a setter, and then we would book a call that way. So we could hit them multiple times. Then we're texting them, we're emailing them, we're calling them. So what I've really learned is the follow-up game is the most important thing when it goes to making ads work. A lot of people think they're gonna run a perfect ad to a perfect funnel and people are just gonna buy it. That's not the case. You're gonna basically outreach to individuals, have conversations with them, and then you're gonna get more people who actually book that way than usually book straight through the funnel. And all I did is rinse and repeat that process for pretty much over 6 years. And that's what got me to $115 million in sales. And now that I have those skills, I'm now moving off into tech. I'm now moving off into private equity. And you can do a lot more things when you learn the skills in this marketplace. This is a cool thing. If you build a business this way and you learn these skills and you learn how to build an information marketing business, then you can take those skills and put them into better businesses that have more leverage, and you can make millions and millions of dollars more. So if you guys need any help with that, there's a link down in the description below that goes to my free school group called Sell and Skill. It has all the curriculum in there of exactly what I did to build this business to over $100 million in sales. And if you want to watch any other videos on how to build and scale your business, just click here.